Welcome back.
Technical difficulties.
Welcome back to another episode of Project S.L.U.T, Untamed Tarts.
Hello, everyone.
The show that educates and entertains all things sex in an inclusive and positive way. Imagine if one day we were just like, no, today we choose violence. And so we're talking
Today I
about
did choose violence, honestly.
Imagine if you woke up today and you were like, I choose violence. So welcome back to the show that is conclusive and exclusive and negative about sex.
Yeah, exactly. Get out. No one's allowed in
We
here.
actually should do that. We should do a satirical episode about sex like that.
Like an April Fool's episode?
We missed April Fool's though.
We did.
But that's okay.
We could always do it again.
We could be like, we hate sex. Sex is bad. You get pregnant and die.
Don't have sex, because you will get pregnant and die. Don't have sex in the missionary position. Don't have sex standing up. Just don't do it. Promise?
You will catch pregnancy and you
die.
will die.
Today we are not sponsored by Nutrient Water or
Red Bull.
Red Bull. However, if those brands would like to, you're more than welcome. I'm so glad that you're here today to talk about fetishes. Like, who else would we have on? Like, what other dominatrix would we have?
I would be very upset if it wasn't me.
Or at least I didn't ask you first,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So how have you been? What have you been up to?
I've been good. Just working a lot.
Hustling? Ooh,
Hustling
crunch.
all the time. All the time hustling. Setting up my website for my dom stuff. I'm trying to find a venue that I can run my sessions out of rather than doing it from home, because I like to separate my home life and my dom life, if that makes sense. And also I'm just like, it's kind of strange for me to have subs come into my house and just see my entire life. I'm like, no. You don't get to know me as like my day-to-day me. You just get to know Luna. So,
And if any subs want to hit you up, they can find you on Instagram.
yes, Luna _Wild.
And so today we're specifically going to be talking about feet fetishes.
Oh yeah,
Because it is something that we get requested to talk about a lot.
yes.
And, I think when you first, even if you just learn about sex, right?
Mm.
You just someone has a foot fetish.
Yeah,
and
it's
then,
always like a joke.
It's always a joke. But then as I've gotten more into this field, you just realize that this is probably such a common kink. It's just, I don't even know if it should be called one anymore.
Honestly, yeah. I think I even have it a little bit. There is just something to be said for those ridiculous stiletto heels, like the Christian Louboutins that are just 6-inch heels or 7-inch heels with no platform at the front, and all the girlies are just and they just look amazing.
Yeah, love that.
Stop it.
And I looked up today, obviously in preparation for this episode, what was the technical term for foot fetish, and it was podophilia, but it also covered shoes, socks, everything around feet.
Everything feet
is a
related.
foot fetish.
Yeah.
So I don't know, when like you said, everyone hears about it as a joke, and then here I am seriously talking about it as a fetish, and I just can't help but smile. I don't mean it in a shaming way. I mean it in a way that it's just it's so bizarre to understand a completely different world than when you realize it's actually so common. It's why is it not talked about more? Maybe if it was, then it wouldn't be such a shameful, funny butt of the joke,
Yeah, it's that weird thing where it gets talked about a lot in the joking sense, but not in a serious sense of oh, why are you actually into feet? What do you like about feet?
Yeah. And I want to tell you about the first time that someone's kind of expressed this to me. Are you ready for this?
I am so
I need
ready.
to take a drink because
Give
this
me
is
the
very
tea.
hectic. You're not even going to expect this. Okay. So I want to say maybe I was it was late teenage years. I wasn't 18 yet. It's quite new to sex. So being underage, you're not really getting exposed to much anyways.
Yeah.
There was a person that I worked with, and they were quite obsessed with me. And looking back at it now, I didn't realize it then. But then, you're just a teenager. You're like, oh, cool, boy's giving me attention. Boy's giving me attention. And as like a teenager, you always want to impress guys. Like you want to, you send nudes, talk dirty, put out whatever. So this guy's like talking to me, and I can kind of get the vibe that he wants more, but I'm not interested in him in that way that much that I'm willing to like do all those things.
Right.
So I kind of just like let him have the conversation go. And I remember he asked me for like a nude photo, and I said no. And then he was like,
standard.
and
Love
then he was like, and this is the thing is like, I would have sent it if it was like somebody else. I just wasn't keen on him. So
you're like, nah, boo, sorry,
no,
not good enough.
not for you.
Not for you.
I mean,
honey.
I do those dirty things, but it's just like specific people. So I just go along with what he's talking about, and he asks me to take my laptop to the bathroom and like put a banana between my feet and put my feet to the camera.
Right.
And being a teenager, I'm like, you're fucking with me. Like, the fuck are you, what?
We're like fresh 15, guys. What is this?
And the thing is, he was younger than me too. So he would have been maybe like 15.
I've always been wondered about the psychology of kink, like where it comes from.
So this
and,
guy,
like, where it starts.
This must have been, this kid's kink came from way back when.
Childhood.
And I'm just like, how the fuck are you asking me for this? I am 16, 17. Like, this is too young to be exploring into like foot fetishes. Like, what the fuck?
You're like, I was so innocent until today.
I know, right? So I just said, no, thank you. Kind of just like got rid of this person out of my life. And funny enough, this person just kept popping back, block. And I remember not even that long ago, so this is years later, which is technically almost 10 years ago.
Oh shit,
right?
It is too.
This guy's popped up again
because
he's been like seen obsessive and
he's
stalkery.
wanted those feet his
he's-
whole life,
and
he will have those feet.
And I cannot imagine the amount of people he would have like been obsessed with over this decade time. And I remember I just left a comment on it. I was like, oh yeah, when I was 16, he asked me for my foot pic. And now
You're like called out, soz.
I know, and I know that's really bad of me to say, because obviously I don't want to shame this guy if this is his kink, but obviously he was doing it in a way that was very much harming people and like the people who have these kinks, because he was coming off across as like obsessive and weird and just like crossing boundaries that just like, I just like, I feel like even if it doesn't matter what the kink is, you got to know someone before you like come and be like, hey, I have this kink, like, do you want to do this with me?
Yeah, if it's in like a like, for want of a better word, like a vanilla situation, like if you're not coming to someone like me who is fully like emotionally and mentally prepared for the weird stuff, no judgment, but some people think it's weird. But like, do you know what I mean? It's like anything. It's like you don't really go up to a stranger on the street and be like, hey, can I buy your panties? Like, that would be very odd.
No, that's weird. And so yeah, that was the first time I had an experience with.
And you say you know nothing about kink. Come on.
No, but I mean, like, I've been scared out of kink straight from the beginning.
Yeah, true. You were just like, no, thank you. That's too much for me. I don't want it.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay. I'm just replying to a sub. Sorry, guys. Give me 2 seconds.
All right, so all good. We love a little bit of sub.
Working while we're working.
Yeah.
I literally was bitching to you about this in the car. I was like, bruh, like, I'm so over these subs just being so, like, hit and miss. And then they messaged me. I sent it into the universe. That Pisces manifesting
Can
power.
you put out $1 million into the universe for us, please?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be way more useful right now.
Done.
So yeah, that was my kind of like first experience into like foot fetishes and that kind of thing. And even though it wasn't really, I didn't hear about it till most recently, maybe like a few years ago, where a person that I was quite intimate with and we'd been together for a while had mentioned they had this kink. And I kind of thought it was a joke. Like, I was like, oh God, like weirdo, like what the fuck am I getting into? And the more he explained it and the more he spoke about it, I kind of thought, hang on, maybe there was something behind this joke all these years. And thankfully this was during the time that I was starting this podcast and I was around so many people that I could talk to.
Yeah.
And then I found out very quickly that a foot fetish was a very, very, very common kink. And a lot of
Yeah.
people get that seen to for that reason. And there are so many websites and apps and like platforms that people take to fill this need of a foot kink because it's just so like prominent.
It really is. I think it's kind of like the gateway kink. You know how people are like, oh, weed is a gateway drug. It's like foot fetish is a gateway kink.
You can say when we're doing heroin at the end of this.
I really hope not.
Do you know, like, do you remember like your first time like working in like the foot kink?
It was probably when I was stripping, honestly, because like all the girlies were walking around in 8-inch heels, and I always used to wear my thigh-high stockings. So I would quite often get clients that were like, I just want you to sit on the couch while I lay on the floor and you put your feet on my face. And so I'd be like, fuck yeah, thank you. I've been walking around for 5 hours. I would love to just sit for 2 hours and do nothing and get paid.
Do you remember the first time you did it and what you thought?
Yeah, so I think my first like dive into foot fetishists was when I first started stripping. And so I was like 19 maybe. And this is my first dance ever.
Oh God.
In my first club ever. And this guy booked me because my stripper name, which was Rebecca at the time, reminded of his daughter. That was weird. So I was straight up just like, okay, this is already strange. And then he literally...
I'm not judging, but I'm judging right now.
Yeah, I judged so hard. It was very strange. So he's booked me because my name is his daughter's name. And then he gets me to stand above him for like an hour and he just rubs like my ankle bone. You know the one on the inside of your leg? I fucking hate that part of my foot being touched, but I was like, bro's just paid me $700 for an hour to just rub my ankle. It was weird, but I was also just like, okay, sure. Like, this is harmless. My ankle disagreed though. She was bruised the next day.
Oh my God, how hard was he rubbing?
No, it was just constant. It was just, here, give me your hand. It was like this. Gimme.
No, I'm picturing it.
Let me show you. It's like this. Like just rubbing in the same spot for like an hour.
No. Just no. This story started off weird when he said he reminded you of his daughter. I'm sorry. We're judging that one.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously it being weird and like you're just like, fuck it, it's some money.
Yeah, at that point I was kind of just like, okay, money. And then as I got more into BDSM and kink and transition from like stripping into just dom work, it like foot fetish is kind of one of the things that I really enjoy doing with my subs now, because it's just kind of like I don't really have to put in much effort, but it's this also really beautiful kind of like interaction where it's like worshipping, right? Like someone is just like kissing your feet or giving you a foot massage, or you're just sitting there with your feet on their face. And it's very much in that power play kind of dynamic, if that makes sense.
What kind of things have you done personally within the foot BDSM realm?
So I had heaps of people being like, oh, can I buy a used pair of your heels? Can I buy a pair of your socks? And then this guy.
I really loved jerking. I technically he didn't say jerking. He used the emojis.
Yep. So we've got an eggplant and
the water.
smash.
Yep. So I really loved jerking while you rubbed your beautiful feet over my face, and while I sucked your toes. 10 out of 10 would recommend other feet enjoyers experience them.
I got good toes, y'all.
Well, there you go. And I'm speaking of toes, and things we do within the realm of feet stuff. We sell our items, right?
Yes.
So
I know girlies that sell like their toenails and their
that's interesting.
You know how you like soak your feet and like your skin comes off? She'll like literally sell like bits of her old skin and her toenails, and she sells her bath water and her hair, like her shampoo water. Like,
capitalize on it. If someone
you go, honey.
If someone's willing to buy it, then that's on them.
Honestly, what I've come to realize the more I'm in this industry is there is a kink for everything, and people will buy it.
I mean, if
you
someone
have
wants
it,
this
people
microphone,
will buy it.
I'll have to ask the tech guy, but go for it.
Yeah,
I just want to sell the guy's microphone without asking him. All right, so I put on.
She put on a sock.
I put on a sock. So new pack.
ASMR
authenticity.
all over again.
Yep. So, I mean, I'm going to give you a pair to wear as well. So, do you want to take off your socks and put these
I'll
on?
put these on. I'm not lifting my feet up because no free feet here. Thank you very much. Thanks. Now I have one black sock and one white sock.
Oh, I gave you both.
Oh, I dropped one.
We're gonna sell these.
Technical difficulty.
These are gonna be part of a little selling that we're gonna do later this week. And I don't know how authentic you'll keep yours, but I'm decided I'm going to keep mine quite authentic. So I've been wearing these all day. I'll show you.
She's committed to the socks.
Can you help me hold my foot? There we go.
Behind curtain number 1. Look at that balance though. Just falls over.
Let go.
Oh yeah. Wonderful.
So I've been wearing these since 11 this morning. I haven't taken them off.
Oh, sweaty.
I haven't really done much today, so I haven't been sweating. I have a few questions that have I've had questions that people have asked me about this fetish that we're going to quickly discuss, but we're also going to go live while we do it because I want to
Oh yeah.
keep people in the loop.
I will
We are back. Okay. Hold on. Do you want to go back in a little bit more? All right. We should just sit close together. This is so cute.
Hello.
Oh my God.
Drag
Okay.
this over.
So we are in the studio right now, back with doing a live Q&A on foot fetishes. I'll just give you guys a quick look. We're just in the studio. It's pretty cool. And I just thought we'd go live for just this part of the episode so we could talk about foot fetishes, have lots of little
get
things going.
amongst it.
Yeah, so I know we're going to try and concentrate there. We're going to try and concentrate on that one. I don't know, it's going to be really hard. We're going to try to concentrate on that one.
There's
That's the one.
Hello.
So many cameras around us. Or you can just look at me if that's easier.
I'll just look at you. Beautiful.
Your ADHD just can't stand it.
Honestly, I'm so glad that you knew that. I was I am overstimulated.
It's too many cameras looking at us right now. Okay, so one of the questions that I had about foot fetishes was I don't understand, are they meant to smell bad? Because
Yes.
I feel really bad about the guy that's going to get these socks at the end of this because I'm these socks have been on. I'll take them off briefly. It's been on.
They're a bit dirty.
I mean, they're not that bad because at the moment I've only worn them for a few hours and I haven't really done much but just been around the house and I've been keeping them clean around the house.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is I'm very self-conscious about keeping them clean while I'm wearing them. And I think I'm doing it wrong.
You definitely don't have to worry about that at all. I have sent pairs of my socks that I have worn for several days to people before. I'm there is no way that is going to smell good at all. But that's the point.
They want them smelling bad.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Can you guarantee me that they want my socks smelling bad?
Yes.
Okay.
I've literally had messages. I don't know where they are. They're buried. But it's they'll be oh my God, thank you so much. They smelled so dirty. I loved it. I was okay.
Okay, so I've got a party to go to tomorrow. I'm going to be on a bouncy castle.
Yeah.
I'll work up a sweat in that. I'm also going to work and I probably will go to the gym at some point.
Oh, gym socks go hard.
Really?
Yeah.
But the thing is, right, I'm going to the gym, I think, in a couple days, but I want to take them off after that. So I'm I don't want to put dirty socks back on my feet, but I'm this is the experiment. I swear I will give you authentically worn socks.
Do it for the plot.
Do it for the plot line?
Do it for the
Okay. These socks are going to be limited edition. I will never sell socks again because this experience is also giving me so much anxiety. I just can't do it. So limited time only socks that are going to be worn today.
Maybe we should start a bidding war for them. See how much people
Well,
would pay for your limited edition socks.
I did say these socks will either be auctioned off or they will be raffled because I don't want to be mean and give them a prize.
I like that.
Yeah, so you can get my socks and your socks depending on how, I don't know how authentic you're going to go with your socks. We'll give them a little description,
Little sock.
Little sock.
Have a little sock. Here's a sock. Everyone gets
Have
a
a
sock.
signed sock from Dominatrix Luna Wilde.
You can frame it.
I had this question, and obviously this is something that we can ask people. But do you think selling used clothing is considered sex work?
No. I don't.
And why do you don't think it's considered, like, why to you do you not consider that sex work?
For me, sex work is where you're outlaying some kind of energy, right? Like you're literally giving your sexual energy to another person, whether that's like full service escorting, stripping, domination work. What else is there? Like even the cuddling people, I wouldn't consider that like sex work, but it's similar because you're like expending your energy for someone else. Whereas just selling items that you would be wearing on the daily anyway kind of isn't outlaying any extra energy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. And I think when I think of like, obviously I'm not a sex worker, but if I want to sell these socks, I'm like, ooh, just like, I don't want to, like, I'm like, I don't think that makes me a sex worker.
Now I'm a hoe.
I'm a hoe doing this for the money, got them on the streets. But there are like other things, like I put up on my story and I asked whether people thought I should wear them in the shower, but most people said don't. Like most people were like, nah, you got to make them smell bad, and like wearing them in the shower is just going to like make them like reset. It's just going to wash them.
Yeah.
But I'm just here doing it for the plot. Like I just want to wear them in the shower.
Just do whatever you want. Honestly, they're your socks, boo.
I know, but I want to make them so authentic that they're worth selling to these people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another thing that I had to ask, and one of the questions that I always get is, what do people do with these socks?
There are lots of things that people do with the socks.
Okay.
Generally, they sniff them and wank.
Now, okay, if you want to sniff my socks and wank, do you like then use the sock to clean up?
Maybe.
Do you then put the sock in the wash and then now my sock becomes your sock as part of your wardrobe? Do you put the sock,
the tiniest sock
in
a
a Ziploc
wardrobe
bag with my name and date on it? I don't know. I want to know, like, how
Some
far do
subs
these
do.
people's kink go?
Well, I know one of my subs used to use it as his wank sock.
It was his wank sock.
Yeah.
So he would then
Wank.
wash it after, or was he always constantly wanking into the sock?
I don't really want to know the details.
I
but
want to know. This is
told me,
what
he
I
was
want
just
to know.
I mean, it's so fascinating to me, but I'm also just like, dude, I don't need to know like every time, because this was like, he would message me like 6 times a day being like, yeah, I just used your sock again. And I'm like, bruh, does your dick not hurt right now? Like,
It's a lot of wanking.
that's a lot of wanking.
It's a lot of wanking. Like, I mean, do you not have other things? Do you not get hungry?
Yeah, do you not need to drink water?
Yeah.
Like, you'd be so dehydrated right now.
I know. Speaking of drinking water, I do know that some people like giving like pee-soaked underwear to other people.
Literally, the sub that I'm like is messaging me right now is
Called Piss Bitch.
called Piss
Look,
Bitch.
Piss Bitch is asking if she's busy. Yes, Piss Bitch.
I am
she is
busy, but give me your money anyway. What did he say? He's like, I just want to see you in real life. I just want you to piss all over me in real life. Blah, 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 blah. I love
so
it,
like
though.
so with this pee-soaked underwear, do you give it in like a little bag? Does it come with the juices? Like, I have just so many questions about what people do with used clothes, because it's not a kink that I'm used to, and obviously it's a kink that's quite hidden.
Yeah.
So I have all these questions.
Well, the way that I personally haven't sold any piss-soaked underwear, but the way I've seen other girlies do it, like this girl on Instagram, I think her Instagram is like Goddesspreneur or something, and basically she teaches other sex workers how to sell anything and everything.
Yeah, no, that's pretty useful. I think if like...
But she does it. She puts them in Ziploc bags.
Yeah, so this guy, like one of the guys that listen to the show has sent me a description of like how he buys socks.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he said was that he if it's fine with the person, like he takes it off them, which I obviously don't feel comfortable like meeting people.
Don't touch me.
Yeah, it's probably not my thing. But obviously they want to keep it warm, which I get. Right now, should I send the socks that I'm wearing in like a little heater bag? Like a little stay warm
Oh my God, that
parcel,
would be so cute.
like from Uber Eats, like just send it in.
Like a thermal bag.
I know. I feel like I should do this via Uber Eats, and this guy's like, "What the fuck is he picking up from me?"
Delivery.
And then like he's just like, it's like a heater bag, and I'm like, it's just dirty socks, and he has to know this whole drive, him delivering it to the next person.
Oh my
is
God,
via
jokes on
dirty
you when your
socks.
Uber delivery driver is also into socks and steals your socks.
Could you imagine if the Uber driver stole my socks?
That would be so
I mean, that's not fine. I already got paid. You go fight him for my limited edition socks.
Yeah, you guys got to fight it out now.
I also said in the thing, should I have sex in my socks? But I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's too sensory for me to have sex in my socks.
I fucking hate wearing socks
I
in
don't-
bed.
I don't. Yeah, no, I don't wear socks in bed either. But for this, I will.
Just have them like on one toe.
I don't know.
Just,
My
like,
feet get
dangling.
really hot at night, so I just
Same.
don't want to like. Oh, that's where most of the sweat's going to come from for me. Just like wearing them at night now.
Sweaty.
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 I don't know many other kinks that are like I find are as this common at the moment. Besides little things less like, you know, like choking and spanking or like.
Yeah.
And I feel like there are just like these line of kinks now that are just becoming so vanilla.
Yeah, they're coming like so standard.
Yeah. This girl I ran into the other day, I don't know who she is, and she was like, "Ugh, I'm so boring. I'm such a virgin." And then like looks like she's not a virgin, but she just said it in the terms of like she's prudish. But then like maybe like 10 minutes later in the conversation, she just said that like lots of guys spit in her mouth. And I'm like, that is not vanilla. I am sorry. Take that back.
It's just crazy, hey, like people's version of vanilla is so different.
Yeah. Like, what do you think? Like, do you think foot fetishes are just coming like more mainstream now?
I think it's always been a thing, like probably since the invention of the stiletto heel.
Mm.
I think now it's just becoming more prevalent in our media and people actually talking about it.
Yeah. And I think as well, I find like as we're becoming more accepting and more open, you're getting more of these kinks. Like people are saying they have it and then like this other person has it, or like they've engaged with it and then it's kind of like, oh, it's more common than we think.
Yeah.
And I think like even things like choking and spanking that would have been seen as like quite obscene, you know, back then, but now that's quite normal.
Yeah, I think things like that have been like in the shadows more so because there's a whole history of bondage and impact play like from thousands of years ago. They found like old tablets with information about this kind of shit. I think foot fetish is kind of more socially acceptable maybe than saying like, oh, I like to get choked or I like to get hit, because people are like, girl, you okay?
No, I'm not, but I'll take the spanking.
No,
anyways.
I'm not, but it helps me heal.
I also think a lot of these kinks that are becoming more like vanilla, like the foot fetish and just doing things with your feet, like, because we obviously know there's a difference between foot fetish and kink.
Yeah.
And there would probably be quite a huge number of people who have like a foot kink. Like you said, like you can appreciate like a really nice, like hot stiletto.
Yeah.
And I think the more people talk about it and then like we can see it's not as like uncommon, the people who are like into it in the real extremes can be like, yeah, I don't feel so bad like seeking out that satisfaction anymore.
Yeah.
And it doesn't become so like a joke, because like we said, like it sounds like such a joke when everyone's like, oh, it's like foot fetish, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think there's a difference, like it's a spectrum, right? So you've got people like me who are just like, yeah, I love a nice heel. I love when people dress nicely. Like it's good to see. And then there's people on the other end that are like, I can't get off unless I have feet on my face or in my mouth or socks or something.
And that's what a fetish is. It's like such a strong desire to like have that during sex.
Yeah, it's like a need almost.
And like some people just genuinely can't enjoy sex without their fetish. So there would be people out there that genuinely can't enjoy sex, or sex is not as pleasurable unless they have like dirty socks or like a foot on their face.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely just do not know how I would cope if I had a fetish and that was the only way that I could get it satisfied. I think maybe in that sense I'm quite lucky that I am vanilla. I would say like I enjoy vanilla sex because like nothing, I'm okay. You know, like I'm all right.
Like, I'm chill.
I'm chill.
Just chill with the usual.
But I always, like I said with the guy that was 15 and asking me to send him those feet pics. He was 15. Like, how did you already know you had this kink? You know, where did this come from? Where where on, I would say it was probably porn, but even then he had the confidence to just express that kink to someone else.
Be
And
like,
to be
yeah,
like,
girl, show me your feet.
I know, like was porn not enough for him back then? Who knows?
Well, maybe not. I mean, depends how much porn he was watching, but it gets to a point where it doesn't do it for you anymore.
And that's when you seek out sex workers.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. I think there is so much that we could talk about foot fetishes and foot kinks, but we can only talk for so much right now.
I know. We could talk about this all day.
I know. I'm going to wear these socks till, so this is going to be I think a really new, unique point about these socks, right? So I'm going to show them again.
Foot.
The really good thing about this, these pairs of socks is that I'm thinking of extending it one more day, and then they will be witnessing sweat from dentist anxiety.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That I feel makes them way more limited edition. You're getting
Cortisol
party,
socks.
gym, work, stress,
Yep.
and now dental procedure.
Fuck that. I can't believe that you literally have a broken tooth right
I have
now.
a broken tooth that happened yesterday. Really sad, guys. Yeah. But I'm going to wear these socks to the dentist just to add that like a little bit of extra oomph into them.
Yep.
But these are going to be the dirtiest socks. And if you want them, you have only a few days to let me know you're interested in the bidding, and then I will let people know how to purchase the one-time only socks.
One-time only socks.
One-time only. All right. I'm going to end this one now.
Yeah, good, cool. I'm like, me on the other hand, I sell my socks all the damn time.
All right. So just before we wrap up this little quick episode on foot fetishes, it's just one of those things where I think if we just talked about it so casually, then people are like, oh, it's not that bad. And then the stigmas kind of start breaking.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be such a big deal.
No, it doesn't.
Like if no one's getting hurt, everyone is doing consensual things, then it's fine.
Yeah. And I think there are obviously fetishes that are quite extreme out there, that are very obscure. It would be like very minimal people out there would probably, you know, delve into it.
Yeah.
But that again is just like right now, that's what we know. We don't know. Maybe there are like hundreds of thousands of people that, you know, like kinks of lamps. I don't know. I just have to think of something really obscure right now.
I mean, for me, like it doesn't blow my mind because I understand the reason behind it, but it's like consensual non-consent. That is a kink that I just will not participate in.
But it's a very common kink.
Yeah,
I think quite a lot of people have that kink.
Yeah. And so it's like, I don't think there's any shame in knowing what your kinks are and also knowing what your boundaries are. Like it's okay. It doesn't make you less. Because sometimes there's like this hierarchy in like the BDSM kink world of like, oh, you only do impact play. Pfft. But it's like,
why are you this is my sexual journey.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
yours.
I'm allowed to do what I want. And it's like, yeah, sure. So like doing CNC gets you off, or it helps you reframe trauma, which is a big thing. But it's like, just because someone does that doesn't make them more or less of a BDSM. What's the word I'm looking for? Like aficionado. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no hierarchy to this shit.
No.
Just do what you love.
I mean, on the spectrum of like kinks, I would have done way more than like other people have, but then there are people who have done way more than me. But I don't like to say that I'm like an expert in this field because it's not something that I practice through and through every time I have sex, or even just on my day-to-day life, where there are some people who like live and breathe BDSM, or even like live and breathe it through their sex life. Like it's the only kind of sex they have, and that's like fair to them. Like it's just always on a spectrum. Everyone's kinks are different. But like in terms of like this foot one and this foot kink, it's one of those fetishes that I think like now more people are talking about, with things like Feet Finder, like all those like feet pick apps, like selling socks and shoes and toenails. Like it's just going to become like more and more accepted the longer it goes on.
Yeah.
And I wonder what the next big like common kink's going to come out. I think honestly, I want to say it's golden showers. I feel like a lot of people are owning up to doing that now.
Yeah.
You know, you're smiling coyly. You're like,
Hee
for next time.
For next time.
Yep. Stay safe and stay whorish. Bye.
Love you. Bye.